All right, let's talk about division. Dividing numbers. We're trying to figure out how many times 6 can go into 125. Your outside number is your divisor. Your inside number is the dividend. So let's review how we do division. We're going to figure out how many times 6 goes into each one of these digits. 6 does not go into 1. Now you can put a placeholder up here, a 0 or an X if you want to show you that 6 is not going into 1. So now we're going to look at not just 1, but 1 and 2 together, which is 12. How many times does 6 go into 12? That's 2. Now, once we get our number up top, we multiply. 6 times 2 is 12. We put our number below, and then we subtract. 12 minus 12 is 0. But I have another number hanging out right here that needs to come down. 5. 6 does not go into 5. Now some of you would stop here or put a remainder because 6 does not go into 5, but I need to finish my problem. 6 does not go into 5, so I'm going to put a 0. 0 times 6 is 0. Subtract, and gives me 5. Once there's nothing to bring down, I'm done with this problem, and you're used to putting up remainder of 5. But that's not how we're doing things anymore. Instead of remainder of 5, we're going to write this up as a fraction. 5 is going to be our numerator or our top number, and then our denominator or our bottom number is right here. So 6 goes into 125 times. So 6 goes into 125 20 times with 5 6 left over. Let's do another problem. So I'm going to start with my first digit, 2. 3 does not go into 2, so I'm going to put a placeholder. 21. 3 does go into 21 7 times. 7 times 3 is 21. Subtract gives me a 0, and I have a 5 to bring down. 3 goes into 5 one time. 3 times 1 is 3, and I subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2. I look up here, there's nothing else to bring down, so I'm going to write my fraction. 2 goes on the top, 3 goes on the bottom. So my answer for 215 divided by 3 is 71 2/3. So now I have 236 divided by 12. The only reason that this is a little bit more difficult is because your multiplication gets a little bit bigger. So I'm going to look. Does 12 go into 2? It does not. Does 12 go into 23? Yes, one time, because 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 would be 24, which is too big. Now I can multiply. 1 times 12 is 12. And I subtract. That's going to give me 11. Now I have to bring down my 6. This is when things get a little more difficult. If you are not great with larger digit multiplication tables, then you're going to have to do a little bit of extra math. I know that 12 times 12 is 144, which is much bigger than this. I also know that 12 times 10 would be 120, because anything times a 10 would just add a 0 on the end. And 120 is too big too. So I'm going to start with 12 times 9. So 12 times 9, if I'm not sure, I can just do it on the side. 18, carry my 1, is 108. 108 goes into 116, so I'm going to put 12 goes into 116 9 times. 9 times 12 is 108. And subtract. 116 minus 108 is 8. And I don't have anything else to bring down. So my 8 goes up top. My 12 goes on the bottom. My answer is 236 divided by 12 is 19 and 8/12. The only thing that could make this a little bit better is to fix my fraction. Instead of 8/12, I need to simplify that. I know that both of these could be divided by 2, 8 and 12, which would make, instead of 8/12, that would go to 4/6. But 4 and 6 can also both be divided by 2, which gives me 2/3. So my actual simplified answer would be 19 and 2/3.